Well, hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a fabulous day so far, whatever time of the day you happen to be watching this video. This is going to be worth sharing. So let me fix something here. Yeah, that's bothering me. So hey, I just want to talk to y'all this morning. I was thinking when I got up this morning, which was early this morning, I haven't done a Straight Talk Tuesday in a minute, and so I just want to just kind of get this one cracking so you could get started in your day, because it's all about perspective. Like, my goal when I do videos is about changing perspective. It's not about guilting you, it's not about making you feel bad, it's not about judgment, it's about perspective, because you just take your beliefs and your experiences, merge it with what I say, and then it becomes a new perspective. So good morning. So look, we hear this phrase. We've heard it all our lives. If you are the infamous churchgoer, religious, spiritual, however you want to label yourself, we've heard prayer changes things. Prayer changes things. Prayer changes things. Get out there. Prayer changes things. But you know what? Prayer with the right attitude changes things. Hear that again. Prayer with the right attitude changes things. And I'm going to show you why I'm saying what I'm saying. So I'm gonna give you a couple of 1, 2, 3, I think it's like 4 quick biblical examples, because I'm not, you start talking about certain things, people think you talking about their life and what they done on social media. Like, I ain't got time for all that. So here's the thing. Hey, sunshine, good morning. So prayer with the right attitude changes things. So look at this. So when we think about the Israelites, when they were wandering in the desert, like, that trip was not supposed to take 40 years. It was not supposed to take 40 years for them to get from point A to point B. God don't need to take all day to change our lives or to make a difference in our situation. Doesn't need to happen. They needed to change their attitude. And when a few people came along and saw, hey, look, this ain't working for us, we need to change some things that we doing. God has a way of moving folks out the way to make things happen, because his plan is not going to change. His plan does not change. The people in it change. You hear what I'm saying? All right, so here's another example. Daniel in the lion's den. Whoa, I always think about this one, because I'm thinking about if I was in the lion's den, I'll be like, oh, Lord, just go ahead and eat me now so I can hurry up and get this over with. I can't fight this lion. I can't win this battle. I'm in here with a lion. What am I supposed to do? But prayer with the right attitude changed Daniel's situation. See where I'm going with this? Those folks wandered for 40 years and they didn't have to. Daniel was in a lion's den. He didn't have to be there, and he wasn't going to be there. He prayed, his attitude changed, and y'all know the story. Let's talk about Paul and Cyrus. Paul and Cyrus were jailed for doing good deeds. So that's what I'm saying. You can't get caught up just because you feel like you this super spiritual. That's my favorite word, super spiritual Christian, because I can't deal with those folks. If you super spiritual, there's a reason why we do not connect. I can't do it super spiritual and super religious. Like, there has to be an in-between. Like, there has to be balance. I don't even use the word balance anymore. I use harmony. Think about an orchestra. They're all different instruments, and they sound differently, and they have a different purpose. Some have holes, some don't. Some have strings, some don't. But when they come together and align with the purpose of the musical piece, bam, we got beautiful music. So Paul and Cyrus was doing a good thing, and they were jailed. Good morning, sunshine. They were jailed. But guess what they started to do? They changed their attitude, and they started praising in the midst of a bad situation. I know that sounds so cliche, because there's sometimes I don't even want to praise through my situation. But you know what? We got to. Prayer with the right attitude changes things. And when they decided to give praise, even in the midst of their bad situation, even in the midst of the way things looked, and even the way it looked on the outside in to others, they still prayed in the midst of it. Now, here's the one that's going to get you super religious folks. Spiritual folks will understand this, because see, spirituality is a relationship and a connection with God. Religious is you do something habitual. There are people who religiously go to Starbucks. There are people who religiously go get bagels in the morning. There are people who religiously, take the same way to work and from work. Religiosity means nothing. Check this one out. Just because you know Jesus, don't mean your situation is going to change instantly. Drop an offering, drop a cash app, $ Suzanne Stroud, because I'm about to drop this nugget on you right now. Mary and Martha. Y'all remember the story of Mary and Martha? Jesus came to their house. Jesus came to their house. And One sister was serving in the kitchen and another one was serving at Jesus' feet. Regardless of what they were doing, they had that type of relationship where Jesus came to their house. But guess what? When their brother was dying, they thought, oh, shoot, you know what? I got the hookup. We know Jesus. We served him. I washed his feet with my most expensive perfume. He got to come running. Jesus is going to come because of who I am. Like, see, we talking about being a respecter of person. That's what it means when God says he's not a respecter of person, because it doesn't matter who you are or what you've done. He moves in his own timing. They called and said, our brother Lazarus is sick and he's dying. You have to come quickly. Now we're trying to make Jesus come on our timeline. Jesus said, look, I'm down here at the burger joint. My fries are still cooking. This hamburger is sizzling hot. I'm going to finish up this meal. I got to go check out my homie down here at the barbershop because I said I was going to go see him and check him out. Then I got to go down here and do, like, Jesus did his stuff. He did whatever was on his agenda, if he had one. At the end of the day, he just took his time. And Lazarus died. And when you look on the outside in, you be like, oh, now the friends are like, oh, I thought you knew Jesus. You said you were down. You said you had the hookup, but your brother died. But Jesus showed up and still showed them that he could make things happen. They still believed. But the point I'm making with this one is, just because you know Jesus doesn't mean that your prayer is something's going to happen just like that. I was listening to this message from T.D. Jakes this past week, and this thing kept showing up in my timeline. I was like, that must mean I need to listen to it. Timing is everything. And in that message, he said, just because you pray doesn't mean you win. And I've always thought this, like, we think just because we pray, we think just because we Christians, we think just because we go to church, we think just because we do good, we think just because this happens, like, just because you do good doesn't mean that bad things won't happen. I mean, like, and that's the whole full understanding of the parable of the wheat and the tare. So the point I want to make this morning is, yes, pray. I'm not saying to stop praying, and I'm not saying that prayer doesn't work, and I'm not saying that it won't happen instantly. But here's what people do need to understand. When we pray and something happens, whenever it happens, it was already in the timeline for it to happen that way. It was all about our attitude. It was all about it's all about our attitude. It's all about our posture, and it's all about our alignment. So you got to look at things in the natural and then in the spiritual. You know, you got children, right? You got children. When they start acting ugly and they have a bad attitude, there's something you already have in line to do for them. Let's say you're going to take them on a vacation. But you say you got to get good grades, you got to do your homework, you got to get your chores done, you got to have a good all of that. And then at the end of the day, you say you got to have a good attitude. And depending on how much you pay for that trip, if they start acting real shoddy, you like, you know what? We ain't doing nothing. You ain't going nowhere. We're going to stay home. I'm going to hold my money up for something else. And we're going to do, that is being in alignment with God. I'm not saying God withholds things from us. Our attitude and our misalignment withholds us from receiving those blessings. So that's why, y'all, I just be trying to have a good attitude about things. And all these people that think that, you know, good energy and good vibes and all this other stuff, that's some hokey pokey stuff. That is not hokey pokey. It's about direct, good alignment is good vibes. So I hope you got something out of this nugget this morning. I just had to drop this. I did not mean to be on here this long because a sister has got to get to the plantation with the check. That's what it is, a plantation with a check right now, y'all. So hope you got a nugget out of this. Feel free to share it, comment, but I just want you to understand, prayer with the right attitude changes things. So some people want to look at other folks who maybe don't go to church, say they don't believe in God, don't do all the things that you do that's so religious. See, that's what I'm saying, that we get caught up in religious, that we don't think that people who don't do those things should be blessed. They know God. They know a spiritual being, because, you know, we want to try to make God this physical person that we own and we control. Like, there's a spiritual being, and how he connects and how he relates to each and every individual. Every culture is different. Same way you relate to different people in different ways. I have friends who react to me differently than they act, you know, than how they act with other people. They, you know, we just act different with different folks. So, hey, I just want to drop that nugget. I hope you have a wonderful day. And this has been a Straight Talk Tuesday with your girl, Miss Straight Talk, no sugar added. You know, I don't make it good to you. I make it good for you. And if you have not subscribed to my Miss Straight Talk YouTube channel, check out the videos that I dropped yesterday and you can subscribe. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you watching. So if you catch this later in the day, feel free to share it with like 5, 10, 100,000 people, because people need to know. And maybe if we change our attitude towards things, we'll see things happen. Especially if you watch the video I did yesterday about God's provision. Our attitude has got to be right about provision. So anyway, talk to y'all later. Smooches. Bye.